All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a secret weapon that unlocked a staggering 15% growth for one company. And the amazing part, it all came down to a single, simple change.
So think about this for a second. How do you free up an entire sales team and see your numbers shoot up? Not by pushing them to work harder, but by fixing just one little piece of their process. Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so our story kicks off with a company called A&B Co Corporation. And, like a lot of really successful companies, they had a problem hiding in plain sight, something that was quietly putting a cap on their potential.
Now, A&B Co is a real powerhouse. We're talking about a family-owned business that's been a top dog in linens and paper goods since way back in 1968. They serve everyone from restaurants to hotels to schools. So by all accounts, they were a super established, successful company. But even the best can hit a wall.
And that wall has a name: operational inefficiency. It sounds kind of corporate and boring, right? But what it really means is simple. Their team was spending way too much time on tedious, manual tasks, and they had basically no time left for the stuff that actually grows the business.
This right here, this shows you their daily struggle perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way. Sales reps were just buried under calls, texts, and emails, literally just taking orders. But on the right, that's the goal. They wanted to be out there talking to customers, selling more stuff, and finding new clients. The old way was making that goal pretty much impossible.
And this is where the whole story flips. A&B Co had this aha moment. They realized the problem wasn't their people and it wasn't their product. It was their process. They needed a new system, and they found one in a solution called BlueCart.
And let's be clear, the sales team was working their tails off. They were dedicated, they were hustling, but all that effort was getting soaked up by a system that just couldn't keep pace. It was like they were sprinting on a treadmill, a ton of effort, but they weren't actually going anywhere.
This quote from Dennis Sellers at A&B Co really says it all. The fix wasn't just good, it was so good they started recommending it to everybody, even their own customers. I mean, that's a serious stamp of approval right there.
So, what did this big change actually look like on the ground? How did they manage to go from drowning in manual orders to this, super smooth, automated workflow?
Would you look at how simple the new process is? Getting a new customer started became 3 easy steps. No more endless phone tag. The rep just sends an order guide, the customer can make their own little tweaks, and then they place the order themselves. Boom! Clean, simple, and so efficient. And here's the beautiful ripple effect of that change. Once ordering was automated, the sales team was suddenly unleashed. They finally had time to actually go hunt for new business. Sharing pricing was a breeze. Put simply, their productivity just exploded because they could finally focus on selling instead of just taking orders.
Okay, so all of this brings us back to that big number I mentioned at the start. These improvements are awesome, but what was the real measurable impact? What is this 15% secret all about?
There it is. 15%. Just by automating how they managed orders, A&B Co saw this massive jump. But a jump in what exactly? What does that number really mean?
That 15%, that's the increase in their average order size, and that is huge. It means they weren't just working more efficiently. The strategic work the sales team could finally do, actually talking to customers, selling more items, was leading directly to bigger, more profitable orders. So, this growth wasn't some kind of magic trick. It was the direct result of giving the team back its most valuable resource, their time. By taking that administrative weight off their shoulders, they finally unlocked the sales team's true potential to build relationships and, grow the business.
So what are the big lessons we can pull from this? Well, first, even really successful companies can have these hidden problems that are holding them back. Second, automation isn't about replacing people. It's about making them better at their jobs. And maybe most importantly, the right system isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a powerful engine for real bottom-line results.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. A&B Co found an extra 15% growth, not by hiring a bunch of new people or launching some crazy new product, but just by fixing a broken process. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where is your 15% hiding?